Hey, welcome everybody to another exciting episode here of the one and only Crash Course. So psyched to be with everybody. So today is, what the hell is today? I don't know where the hell I am anymore. Ever since I got into my early 60s. The 17th of September. So, I'm just going to get this out, lay it out on the table. The whole thing here with Trump. All right, again. We're not being political here, but this is news, and we're not officially quote unquote a news outlet here, obviously. But it does bear mentioning, right? So this is September 17th, and as we all know, or as you should know anyway, when you listen to this episode, you should remember where you were, because another wackadoodle tried to take a shot at Trump, right? So. Not going to go too far into the weeds on this. Just going to say that, listen, everybody needs to take a deep breath and step back, all right, and really take a hard look. Forget the politicians. I say that all the time. Forget those guys. They're all blowhards. They all talk through both sides of the mouth. I don't give a shit what side of the aisle you want to be on, all right, or whatever you consider yourself, a liberal, or a conservative, a nothing, a nobody, all right. It doesn't matter. What needs to be focused on here is Americans. That's what we need to get back to focusing on again. That's what pisses me off about what goes on around here. And the politicians are great for that. George Carlin used to talk about. George Carlin. Go to Instagram, find George Carlin. The guy's fucking phenomenal. He must have been a savant and a sage during his time, because he was talking about shit decades ago that's actually going on now. And he thought it was bad back then. The guy must be spinning in his grave. Right? And what am I talking about? Division. Right? They love to divide everybody. And today it's on steroids, man. Right? It used to be in the 60s, they used to talk about the man, everything was the man, right? And the power, check the power. Nobody gives a shit. The media don't give a shit no more about that. They don't want to do their job. They don't want to be the arbitrators of free speech and power and checking the authority and stuff like that of the gun. They don't want to do that. So we have to do that. People have to do that. Americans, that's who has to do it. You and me. And again, it shouldn't matter from whatever place you call from, all right? Whatever it is that you're into, whatever your group or anything, which, by the way, I got a problem with that too. We need to get away from this group. It's another political ploy to break us all up, to divide us. George Carlin used to say it all the time. He does an amazing skit. It's fucking hysterical. And it would really be hysterical if it wasn't true. And he thought it was true then. I watch Instagram, I'm like, holy shit, this guy's hysterical. And then I see the early 90s. I'm like, early 90s, this guy's talking about how they're dividing us. Holy shit. Dividing us? Right? The old divide and conquer is alive and well here. All right? Everybody really and I'm talking to the young people out there. I'm not talking to the old farts like me, right? The 60s, late 60s, early 60s, even maybe late 50s. I'm not talking about that. Forget that group, right? That group's already, they're with me. They already know where that's coming from. Talking about all the young folks out there, right? Hopefully that's a bunch of them listening to us here at Crash Course. All right, smarten up, man. All right, because when they're done coming for the other guy, they're coming for you. All right, and I don't mean they're going to be marching down the street with guns, and although who knows, who the hell knows. But in a literal sense, that's not what we mean. What we mean when we say they're coming for you, all right, is whatever it is that you think is very important to you today, right? Whatever it is, whatever cause, whatever group, whatever community. I love the word community. You ought to look in the community, folks. You know what community is long for? Communism. Commune. Right? Big thing in the 60s. I belong to a commune. Right? All the hippie dippies. But I digress. So, that's what they mean when we say they're coming for you next. They're not going to come and throw you in jail, although they might. They might, if it ever got that bad. Right? Go look at some of the old tape from the 30s, the 40s, and even the 50s. But in a literal sense, what people mean when they say they come for you next is whatever it is that your passion, whatever it is that your cause, whatever it is that your interest is, or that you associate with, whether it's sexually, socially, politically, they come for you next. It's a natural evolution, folks. Whether it's socialism, Marxism, or totalitarianism. All right, I was a political science major, trust me. I don't know what kind of horse shit they teach in college anymore. It's not the political science I was taught. Trust me when I tell you, all this stuff, it's all designed to divide everybody, get everybody at each other's throats, all right? And everybody fighting each other. It's almost like the Wizard of Oz, pay no attention to that guy behind the curtain. Remember that one, right? Maybe you don't. You should go look that up. It's a great movie. It's hysterical. I love Dorothy. At any rate, you know, it really gets under my skin. I know I'm a 62-year-old fart, right? People, you know, young folks looking at me here, they probably laugh and everything. But listen, that's fine. Laugh, crack up at me, right? Oh, this old fart, you know, he's going on and on about bullshit. But it's not bullshit. Go look into yourself. I think I said this on one other episode, right? The other thing that people absolutely have to do here is you have to learn the ability to go check things for yourself, not the fact check bullshit. That's another you know, another one of these little cliches that they, you know, it's the same thing as Pilates. You know, it used to be calisthenics, now it's Pilates. So, you know, inferential reading, all right, or what we used to call is not logical, but the ability to basically interpret things beyond what their literal meaning might be, right? Be able to, so in other words, in the layman's terms, look beyond, all right, what's being said, all right? Look behind that, all right? And that's what I encourage everybody to do. Go look into shit for yourself. Listen, after you look into it, if you're still into that, or you still think, hey man, I'm all on for this, great, no problem, no problem. But unfortunately, that's not what goes on anymore in our country. It's not what goes on. They divide everybody against each other, and then they spew all this crap, this unsubstantiated, unfactually hinged crap, all right? Disinformation, misinformation, which just fuels the fire, fuels the dissension, fuels the division, all right? And they don't want you, like I said, pay no attention to the guy beyond the curtain. Just listen to what the hell I'm saying and swallow it. Bullshit. Go look into this shit for yourself. Everybody likes to Google? Go Google. Google this, Google that, Google this. All right? Because folks, politicians, all right, powerful people, they have ulterior agendas, all right? And it's probably not your agenda, all right? Power and money are the oldest sought after structure in the history of the world, right? It's always power, it's always money. That's it. Whenever there's a problem, follow the money. You'll find the money at the root cause of that. Root cause. Remember our lovely vice president was going to find the root cause of immigration? I think she found it. She found a mirror in the house and started looking. At any rate, that's my rant for the beginning here, all right? It is what it is. So here we go. Let's go into what we do best, crash course. Hey, listen, crash course, right? We are here for the folks. We're also here for the privately owned and operated auto body industry here on Long Island. All right, we support them, all right, and we promote them. All right, we're big warriors of the free enterprise system, folks. Capitalism, right? Free enterprise at its best. All right, everybody should be able to make their own decisions as to who, what, and where to do business. All right, and it's no different than the auto body industry. And what we like to do here is we get to talk directly to you folks. Right? First we started on the radio, and now we're at the podcast. All right, please keep telling everybody about us. All right, our ratings keep going up. Our following keeps going up. I really appreciate it. That's terrific. I love what I do here. All right, I love getting this information out. I mean, a couple episodes back, I was talking about some recalls on cars. I think last episode or one before that, I can't keep track anymore. You know, we got into the whole thing about insurance premiums and why they're going up and how much they went up. All right, which is just effing incredible. All right, that's another load of shit too, right? Right? Check out your bill. Isn't it ridiculous? And what do you get in return for that, right? Put a claim in. If you've been following me, you heard me talk about that, right? Try putting a claim in. You see what kind of return you get on that money. Not much, especially depending on the company you're with. All right, so you know that's what we do. We educate everybody here. You know, I talked about how important it is. All right, and we'll continue to talk about this. It's very, very important, folks, more so than ever before. All right, that we understand who and why is fixing our cars. All right, and especially after COVID. After COVID, there was a huge paradigm shift in the auto industry. What I mean about that, I had a couple episodes on this when we were on the radio after the fallout from all that, all right? What I mean is the leasing business collapsed, right? The leasing industry collapsed. People moved out of leasing and back into ownership. And that's good. I think that's good, all right? And when I started in the insurance industry, I didn't even know the word lease, other than maybe for an apartment or something like that. But other than that, it didn't even really apply in the auto industry. I mean, if it did, it was probably just for, you know, the super powerful and the wealthy and shit like that. But the average Joe wasn't leasing anything other than an apartment. I mean, that's just it. So, and then all of a sudden, woo, we're going to lease everything, right? So everybody started to become a rental society. That's all that is. It's Leasing is rental on steroids. That's it. You're driving your fancy car. I got to drive a $90,000 Escalade. Woo! You don't own it. You don't own it. You might as well rent the thing every weekend or every week, because that's all you're doing. You're throwing money right out the window just to rent it, okay? So that's leasing. So it was really cool to see that shift back into private ownership. But what does that do for us as consumers, right? That gives us more of a personal stake in our cars and our trucks now. It does. I mean, whether you realize that or not, it just does. I don't know about you, but if I'm renting somebody's piece of shit, I mean, I'm just saying, right? I mean, if I dent up the guy's car and I rode into a body shop and and you got I don't know, you got Taco Tim there and Julio down by the schoolyard, and they tell me, hey man, I fixed that car in 3 days. We'll mud that thing right up, right, one end to the next. We'll load it up with plastic. Go ahead. I don't give a shit as long as it don't crack before I drive it back. I mean, that's just it. Nobody cares. Why would you, right? I mean, honestly, I get that now at the shop. I ask people, do you lease it or do you finance? Lease it. You lease it, and then right away I go, I lease it. I don't really care. Just do what you got to do. Right? I understand. Especially on a personal standpoint, I get it. I'd be the same way. I'm like, listen, I gotta give this shit box back in 3 months, man. Can you just sand that out and spray a little paint to you? Absolutely. So by shifting back from that to ownership, what did it do? It creates more of a personal investment in the cars and trucks. And I saw this in the industry, folks. When I got into this industry in the mid '80s, like I said, that's all it was. And that precipitates so many other things that the insurance company, remember what I always said, they're not actually your friend. Remember, folks, they're a business first and foremost. They're not your friend, right? They pretend to be your friend, but they're not your friend. They're looking out for them, they're not looking out for you. They look out to you to the extent that they have to because of Reg 64 and the policy. Other than that, everything else they do from the time you pick up the phone to make a claim is, how are we gonna, I'm not gonna say screw you, but it's always about how are we gonna save money and get this claim paid. That's it. And if there's anybody out there in the insurance industry that's listening or that follows us, or you hear it from your cousin or your brother, your sister, whatever it is, and they're in the insurance, that's all a bunch of crap. That guy's full of shit. That's not what we do. We love our insureds. We help them. That's what I say to that. All right, and I worked for major companies, USAA, State Farm, CNA. I was an independent. Trust me, folks, the bottom line is the bottom line. Whether you're in insurance business or whether you're in a finance company, whether you're building cars, trucks, buildings, it's the bottom line. The bottom line is the same thing at the insurance company. And the way they try and keep that bottom line up is by saving money on your claim. All right? Paw nut, that's it. You heard it from me. I was in that industry almost 30 years. And that's the way it is. So now that you finance your car, right? Finance it, paid it off, and listen, I'm not just talking about new, I'm talking about buying used. There was a tremendous explosion in the used car market. Tremendous. All right, supplies fell, demand went up, and the price went through the roof. I love it though. I love it. People were, pulling their hair out of their head. Holy shit, man, that's economic, that's capitalism working. That's free enterprise, baby. People wanted it, and they didn't have it. And the guys that did said, come and get it, and you're gonna pay more money. That's how it goes. At any rate, so that's where we're going here, right? So you have a personal interest in your car, so you should have a personal interest in who the hell fixes it. Folks, wake up. All right? I don't know what it is. Listen, I know we have a lot of foreigners here. I see it at my shop, right? We got people from all over the world now that live here, right? We got Indians, we got Asians, we got Pakistanis, we got Puerto Ricans, we got splash of Irish, some Italian. I don't really see a lot of Italian anymore. I don't know where they went. They must have got back on the boat and went back, like with Columbus. I don't know. I don't even see Italians at the pizzeria anymore. At any rate, so I get it. We got a whole hodgepodge here, a whole kaleidoscope of people. All right. But I don't get why, regardless, or whatever the ethnicity is of these people, whatever you claim to be, your background, everybody needs to understand the same principle applies. All right? Stop drinking the Kool-Aid. Remember, we own the cars. We have a personal stake. We need to understand who and why is fixing our cars. I talked about this a little bit in the last episode, the episode before. I go nuts. I do a man on the street, and I run up, and your brakes are blown. Your oil needs to be changed, and right off the bat, yeah, I use Uncle Tony. I use Carmine's Auto Refinish. Tricky Dick. Everybody's. Carmine's Auto Repair. Everybody's got a guy. If you don't have a guy, you're going to the dealer, right? And why is that? Because it's a need. It's a need too. Body work is as need. And sometimes, even if it's as need, it doesn't get done anyway, right? We've all seen the guy duct taping the... I was going to work, I was cracking up. This guy's got the whole back of his fucking car duct taped up. I'm thinking, you got a check. He got paid, and then he said, I'm going to duct tape this bitch up. All right, so... But seriously. All right, seriously, though. We really need to take a step back, take a deep breath, and say, you know what? I really do, because unfortunately, your family member, your immediate family, friends, business associates, you're going to have an incident, right? God forbid, hopefully it's not a serious one, but you're going to have an incident. And when that happens, you don't want to rely on the insurance company, folks. Please. They're not your friend, okay? New mantra, insurance, not my friend, right? And that's fine. You don't want them to be your friend, okay? Trust me, you don't want them to be your friend. All right? You don't want to be in the photos that you're sending. And by the way, do not stop sending photos. I've been preaching this, holy shit. We started on the radio, I think it was on the radio for 2 years. Now I'm doing this, I don't know, I can't keep track of time anymore. But I'm going to say maybe a half a year, 6 months, whatever it is. And I'm sorry to say, but I don't really feel like I'm making a dent. I don't feel like I'm making a dent. If you're hearing my voice, all right, please, and you follow us, or you just stop by and you're checking out the the podcast, great, terrific. If you don't get anything else out of this, get this, all right? Tell your friends, your family, your business associate, people you know and you love and you hang out with. Please tell them you do not cooperate with the insurance company when it comes to your vehicle's inspection. When they say, do you have photos? Your answer should be no. That's it. Well, what do you mean? I don't have any. Oh, okay. That's the end of that. You know why? They have people that they hire that are highly trained, highly qualified, highly paid, all right, and know exactly what needs to be done when it comes to acquiring photos from your damaged vehicle. You don't. You're not a trained professional. You're not a licensed appraiser in the state of New York, all right? You don't need to be taking photos of your car. Folks, I got to tell you something. I work in a body shop, right? I told you, for full disclosure here, I work at V&J Auto Body, right? I'm one of the writers there. And you are not doing yourself a service at all, okay? At a minimum, you're extending the repair time. They send you the estimate. Here you go, Mr. Jones. Woo, here's a little check, and go knock yourself out. It's a half-ass estimate. They know it. You don't. They do. They give it to you. They're hoping you run to the hills with the money and forget about the repair. If the repair is such that you can't run away from it, they don't give a shit. They're hoping you go to one of their shops, all right, and then they can take care of everything on the down low. Do not send photos. Folks, when you send photos to the insurance company, it becomes the property of theirs. So guess what? Now you bring your car to me and you tell me, oh, I sent photos in already. Why? I don't know. They told me to. And if I told you that it was a good idea to go out in the Great South Bay in the middle of January in a nor'easter, would you do that? Probably not. I hope not. So why would you send photos of them? Folks, they are not a criminal investigative arm of anything, okay? They have nothing to do with criminality. They don't investigate anything for criminality. Okay, now, before I get in trouble with that, yes, they do have a special investigation unit. What I mean by that is, if they feel that they have criminality or crime, was whether it's insurance fraud, grand larceny, whatever the hell it is, that gets handed up to the proper authorities, which would be the district attorney's office. They don't get involved in any of that, though. Okay, forget it. You're not going to get in trouble. They're not going to drop you. You're not going to get in trouble from the big bad insurance company. All right, it's all bullshit. They are a company. Yes, they're a fiduciary company. They have a fiduciary responsibility. Whoop-de-doo. Who gives a shit? You do too. Your money is paid to them every month after month. Okay? So you start demanding from them. Okay? You're a party to that contract. You should not be intimidated. Simply say no. I had the old Nancy Reagan program running at the radio. She used to say it to just say no. That was against drugs, but we like to use it against the insurance guys. Please stop sending photos. I know these younger generations, they think it's so great. You guys are, I'm telling you, you guys are asleep at the wheel here, man. You're giving up your privacy, you're giving up your liberty every time you give in to this kind of stuff. You let them plug shit into your car because you're going to save $10 on your premium. Guess what? You know what they do? They save you money up front, then they cost you money, and then they drop you. That's right. Because on top of doing a credit report now on you, and sometimes even a consumer report, now you're letting them plug shit into your car. So guess what? They know where you are, where you go, what your habits are. Then I got to tell you this. This is what they're doing, okay? And they track all kinds of driving parameters. How aggressive are you with the car? How aggressively do you stop? Do you accelerate? Okay? What is your turn radius? How aggressive are you in a turn? Folks, this is all the shit that they capture. Insurance companies are data driven. And now you're giving them data that they're going to use against you. So stop. It's all bullshit. I work there, trust me. This is not anything that you want to get involved with. All right? Now, Thomas Jefferson famously said, I love Thomas Jefferson, smartest of the founding fathers. Very seldom spoken of, but anyway. Thomas Jefferson famously said, all right, be careful of what you, now I'm going to paraphrase this to fit a business, all right? He was talking in a political sense. Be careful of what it is you think you need today, because it may be the very thing that destroys you tomorrow. Right? Now he was applying that in a political way, right? He was comparing socialism, communism to, to freedom, liberty, and free enterprise and stuff like that, right? A republic, constitutional republic. But we can apply that same principle here in business, all right? What I mean by that is be careful of the thing that you think is so great today. You're going to plug this thing in and woo, you're going to save, 10% on your physical damage or whatever the hell it is and blah, blah, blah. And then guess what? I've already heard of this. Folks, I've already seen this happen, all right? They use that, they will be used against you. Not a good idea. Please tell everybody you know, anybody that's hearing my voice on this podcast, start letting people know, stop sending photos to the insurance company. It doesn't help you, it helps them. It helps them control cost, control the claim, and control you. You don't know what the hell they're doing with those photos, folks. I've seen people get in trouble already. You send them a bunch of photos, you don't know what the hell you're taking a picture of, then you report the claim, you go to the shop, and next thing you know, bam! You're getting a phone call from some jackass that says he's with the Special Investigation Unit, or the SIU. And it's usually going to be some jackass retired cop, all right? Who, some of them, a lot of them are good guys, but some of them, they feel like they're on the job still. They're not, okay? It's purely civil matter, it's not criminal, they got no leverage with that. It's all bullshit, all right? But that's how quick you can find yourself in a bad spot. I'm not saying that something's going to happen to you, but who needs that? Who needs that extra aggravation, right? And while we're at it, okay? While we're at it, let me put out another customer service tip here. All right, listen up, folks. All right, I'm gonna get that bell before. Ding, 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 ding. Hello. All right, listen up. Real important here. Just had an incident at my shop. Check it out. Young kid bought a car used. This is serious. Young kid bought a car used. All right, South Shore Subaru. All legitimate, all in the up and up. He financed the car, this and that, drove off the lot. 3 days later, bam! Got in an accident. Some jackass cut him off. He lost control, went off the road and whacked the pole. Do you know that guy go through that thing at the Special Investigations? Now, I worked in that industry for I don't know how many years. I don't know what the hell, why they did that. Why? Because the car got in an accident 3 days after he drove off the lot? Who gives a shit? I used to settle claims. I had a guy buy a brand new car, went to leave the lot, got T-boned and totaled the fucking car. I didn't throw it into Special Investigations. But folks, the point is that they did, okay? And then what happened after that is even more warped, in my opinion, okay? They send some retired cop, SIU, I'm with the Special Investigation Unit, yeah, okay. I was like, what's up? I got to come down, I got to look at the car and this and that. So I'm like, all right, yeah, no problem. So I figure he's just coming down to look at the car, right? To make sure it was actually an accident and everything. This guy shows up in my shop, carrying this big Fandugal-looking machine. I'm like, I said, whoa, I said, what are you doing? He goes, I'm doing an EDR. I go, what the hell is it? Now, again, I'm in this industry how many years? I'm like, what the hell is an EDR? Electronic something recording. Folks, this guy came down with a machine to plug into the black box in the car. All right? Again, not making this shit up. This is where this is all going. I immediately told that guy to stop. I had my co-worker, my partner, go over. I said, watch this guy. Do not let him do anything to that car until I come back. I went in. I made a phone call, which, by the way, listen to this, folks. You're not going to get this kind of shit at a DRP, at an insurance company shop, or maybe even some other line shop. You're going to get that at V&J, though. And you're going to get that at a collision services network shop. Okay? I went in. I made a phone call to the owner, my customer. I said, hey, I got some jackass down here wants to plug into the black box in your car. Are you okay with that? He's like, yeah, they made me sign a release. Why the hell does kid sign the release? I have no idea. I would have told him to go F themselves, but he signed it. I'm like, okay. I came back in. I told the tough guy, I said, I gotta do what you gotta do. So he plugged in and he extracted information out of the black box. Unfortunately for him, for whatever reason, it didn't record the event. I don't know. I don't know what the hell it did, and I didn't really give a shit. And he left. Goodbye. You know, dragging his fat ass out the door with all his shit and everything, his laptop and that. Folks, let me tell you something. You don't want to get involved with any of this, okay? Trust me, I've been there. You don't want to get involved. You don't want to have the headache. I'm not saying that anybody out there is going to be in trouble, but you don't want to have the aggravation. You don't want to give them the benefit of the doubt. Right? Now, this kid should have denied that. He should have said, I'm not signing shit. You're not plugging into anything. Somebody told me, oh, he might have to. It's not in the policy. It's not in the policy. You know why it's not in the policy? The police can't even do that. They would need a search warrant to plug into that black box. Okay? Now, granted, you get in a serious accident and you're at fault and you killed somebody or death is imminent or maybe there's drugs or some other extenuating circumstances, yeah, they probably have a right to plug into the black box. But even then, I'm pretty certain, I'm no legal brain trust here. I do have an associate's in claims law, though. But I'm no legal brain trust, so if there are lawyers out there that are listening to this, all right, I don't mean to be representing myself here as an authority on any of this, but from what I've been told, I was in Atlanta 4 years ago, big assured certified performance seminar, and we had talking heads from all aspects of the industry, and this believe it or not, this came up. This exact thing came up because the black box technology was just starting to hit the cars. And the insurance companies were, they were grappling with this. Now, of course, folks, once again, they couldn't wait to get their teeth into this. But it presented them with a legal dilemma, right? Because it's a privacy issue, and, who's got the authority? And I remember they did mention that, the cops would have to get a search warrant, yada, yada. The bottom line is, do not ever agree to anything, okay? You never want to sign anything. You never want to give a recorded statement. All right, I know I'm kind of going off on a tangent here. You don't want to do that, especially if you're involved in an injury case. Do not give a recorded statement. Just tell them, I'm going to think about it and then go get a lawyer. At any rate, I digress. So getting back to what I was saying about having a personal involvement, a personal relationship with the body shop, all right? This is something we all need to think about, okay? And we can provide that here at Crash Course, all right? I recommend V&J Auto Body, all right? They are one of our amazing sponsors here. But you can go to collisionservicenetwork.com and find one of our amazing network partners that might be more available for you in your area. All right, and these folks, listen, what I just explained to you that happened in my shop, those guys aren't going to let that shit happen either. All right, remember, you go to an insurance sponsored shop. All right, I got a little too long in the tooth here, so we're going to cut it. Next episode, I promise, we'll hammer right into it, the DRP thing and everything. I'll drill right into that. Let's leave it at this. All right, the photo estimates are horrendous. They know it, okay, they do. They do it anyway because they're rolling the dice that you're going to turn around and not give a shit and run off with the money, or you're going to end up at one of their shops. Stop it. Forget about it. It doesn't help you. It helps them, and you don't need to help them. They're fine on their own. All right, you send a photo estimate. You send photos in. They send you this half-ass estimate. They have a 98% supplement rate. What does that mean for you? That means it delays your repair. It means I got to get these guys back. They drag their ass. They got like 4 days to come back. It's a big charade, folks. Stop it. No photos. You want to take photos for your lawyer or for whatever other reason, knock yourself out. Just, you don't have them when the insurance company asks. It's bullshit. You don't work for them. They don't pay you to take photos. You're not a professional. Stop it. All right? So also remember what I said. It becomes their property. You don't know what the hell they're doing with those photos. Manipulating them, blowing them up, transferring them to some other jackass that's going to look at them. Forget it. No good. All right? And it also delays the claim and transfers control of the claim and the process to them. You want to maintain control of the claim yourself and your body shop. All right, so stop doing that. All right, listen, I think we're going to end it there. We got a lot out. I feel good. I think that was a great episode. By the way, I have some really cool stuff on EVs. Remember the EVs, electric vehicles? Yeah, baby. We're going to hammer away at these things again next episode. All right, I know you guys all got a kick out of that. I just discovered some more stuff. Oh, and before I leave, I got some exciting news. You know, they say on 770, breaking news, ba 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 ba, right? And then they tell you what the breaking news is. Half the time it's the same shit they just said the hour before. But anyway, we got breaking news right here on Crash Course Podcast. Breaking news right now on Crash Course. You know what it is? Spoke to the amazing Assemblyman Gandolfo, and I was really encouraged to hear that he is going to be having a sit-down meeting with the, I believe they said the director of insurance at Department of Financial Services to take a hard look on how they can resolve the issue on the Reg 64. Right? So if you're a body shop and you hear my voice, Crash Course, Collision Services Network, looking out for the folks, looking out for the body shop industry all around, the privately owned. All right? So that's an initiative that we began about a year ago, and the Assemblyman has been very gracious with his time and his efforts to hopefully bring some fruition to this, all right? And in particular, what it was is we asked him to make changes in the reg that would compel all insurance companies, compel them, right now it's voluntary, compel them to have to use a paint material guide. All right, so good stuff. All right, guys, keep it real, and, I'll see you on the next episode.